This episode was amazing. Amazing. Duh. Welcome back, BvS episode 2 review. Man, this episode was amazing. Amazing. Okay, where to begin? You know, I don't really know where to begin because I just finished watching it and I set up this recording equipment and I'm still thinking about if we were lucky enough for something like this to happen before, this would be amazing. I'm gonna keep saying that a lot. This would be amazing, and it really lends credence to the idea, or weight to the idea that getting Zack Snyder's Justice League in 5 pieces is gonna be fucking amazing. 5-6 pieces, whatever. It's gonna be fucking amazing. It's amazing. It's like I said in the previous episode, so much happens, so much gets thrown at you in 30 minutes. Let's review. I got the movie here playing, so review. So the movie starts. So this episode starts off with Lex's introduction. Right, checks for Lex. So the movie starts with that. So you get the whole introduction to Lex Luthor, and watching this within 30 minutes, and there are just things here. I like his performance, but there are things in here that I never really captured. Now, of course, I'm trying to put myself in the mindset of seeing this for the very first time. It's a bit difficult. So this episode would drop, and of course people are going to watch it multiple times, and this is episode 2, so people would go back and watch episode 1 and episode 2 consecutively. Now, you see that the Lex has got his hands on the kryptonite. He's trying to convince the senator to write him the paperwork so he can import it. And you're getting a dose of Lex, kind of like who he is, the whole Mark Zuckerberg Lex Luthor. But there are these small flashes where his mask cracks. Like when he says on this little blue planet, he's just like and then he slams the ball on the glass case. And when he says we don't have to depend upon the kindness of monsters, when he just pauses and you see his face, it's like a little crack into who he really is. Now, another dope part here, which when I first saw this in the theaters a couple of times, it does make you feel uncomfortable when he takes the senator for a walk or whatever the assistant is. But that's the beauty of the scene. That's the beauty of Lex. That's how you get an understanding of how brilliant he is, because this assistant or senator, whatever he is, he comes over to try to prostitute himself to Lex, right? Get a quid pro quo situation going. And like that, Lex switches the tables on him and takes him for a walk. And when he does his first request, he goes, "What's your wish list?" He gets the bowl of Jolly Ranchers. When he asks for access, the way he looks up at him. Since you were watching the video, the episode multiple times, that's another little look past the mask. Now the part where they do the dun 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 dun. When I first saw this in the theaters, it felt really weird. I'm watching it right. Dun, dun, dun. It felt really weird. I was kind of thinking, is it trying to be funny? Like what's the point? But again, upon multiple watching, You get to sit here and marinate with it for a week. It really starts to inform you a lot about his character, the undertones of his character, because you're seeing something, but you know that Lex is deceptive. So obviously you would start thinking, well, there's something else to it. And as this sequence goes on, the music starts to creep and change, and they show you more and more and more, and they show you just how he just, in one fell swoop went from having no access to having complete and total access, to cutting off Zod's fingerprints with the kryptonite scalpel that he created, that he fashioned. The violins, when he's cutting the fingertips, the fingerprints off, the violins, it's perfect. And then he puts he puts the Jolly Rancher in this dude's mouth, so that he took him for a walk. It's amazing. So yeah, that always made me feel awkward when I first watched it a few times. But again, amount of times that I've seen this just really shows you brilliance. All right, so then we get Wally. We follow up with Wally. So he climbs up on the statue. He writes false god on Superman, and this is where you get the first taste in the story of Superman feeling bad about the thing, or feeling bad about his shortcomings as Superman. So he comes up here, they're watching him, and when they take Wally away, I work for Bruce Wayne. You got Perry, Lois, everyone's checking it out on TV. And boom, slowly close in, and you see Clark's face. Then Perry does, headline, end of love affair with Man from Sky. And then you just see Lois's perspective of him, and he's just sitting there thinking like I did that. Like, I'm responsible for that, my shortcomings. I put the suit on, I went to go fight this guy, I came to this, it's like all these things that are going through his mind. So then he goes to Metropolis, and again, you get another hint at the Batman that has fallen. He has a new kind of mean in him. The only people scared of him, people who got reason. There's a new kind of mean in him. Exactly. Slowly building it up. So this episode would end, you'd have to sit there for a week going, what does it mean, a new kind of mean? Like, how brutal is this Batman gonna be? And in the next episode or so, you're gonna figure out how brutal this dude is. So then we cut. Again, you get some detective work. Some detective scenes. Him being Bruce Wayne out here in the fight with watching the fight. Trailing KG Beast. Alright, so after the KG Beast scene, we got Clark trying to sell Perry on writing a story about the Batman, or the crime wave in Gotham. Water wet. So that happens there. Lois comes in, shows him the bullet. The ask, Lois, the ask. So then she goes off. They have that little moment where he tells her that you're digging up snakes, Lo. This is another part where upon second viewing or multiple viewings, you realize that it was Lex who requested Clark to cover the gala. So then we cut to the Senator with Lex scene. Again, this is another part where they're slowly peeling back the layer on Lex, slowly revealing who he truly is. So when they're first talking, he tells her, magical thinking of orphan boys and all that. And as soon as she tells him, I'm not going to give you the clearance for the kryptonite, his demeanor switches, his character changes. He reveals a little bit more of himself. And, you know, a lot of people say that they don't like his performance and all that stuff, but I'm telling you guys, if this was released in episode format, you would just sit here watching it multiple times. Technical difficulties anyway. So now that brings us to another Bruce Wayne nightmare. Beautiful shot, him walking through the grass, through the graveyard. Tall grass. Not even tall grass, I don't know what kind of plants those are. But again, this is one of my favorite scenes because it informs you so much about Bruce Wayne. So he puts the flowers into the vase for his mom. He gets the man bat, jumps out to eat him. And I love this part here. Wakes up, there's a woman next to him. He hooks up here and there in the lore, but at this point it just feels more like, you know, he's just kind of going through women, right? Wakes up, takes medication, maybe pain medication, washes it down with wine. It's no. And it just gives you a look that, you know, it's old Batman. You know, he's living like in a simple little kind of flat situation. The mansion is decaying. Then you have the convo between him and Alfred. He's all snarky, gives him the coffee. That look right there after he hands him the coffee. And then he tells him, no, not Batman, Bruce Wayne, go to the gala. Fast forward, show you the joke's on you, Batman suit. Giving you a peek into that psyche, a peek into what's happened. Staring at the suit. We get a look at Zack's Aston Martin. So he makes it to the gala. You know, I never really liked when this movie came out that we knew that Wonder Woman was going to be in the movie, or that Doomsday was revealed in that last trailer. I've always said we shouldn't have known about Doomsday. Definitely 100% should not have known at all about Wonder Woman. Think of how freaking explosive that reveal would have been. She just drops down, and so here we get more of Lex, and the same thing. You know, he says the whole thing about knowledge is power, but it's bittersweet because he has knowledge but he doesn't have power. And this is, again, people say they don't like his performance and all that, but in hindsight, after you see all of it and you realize that in that moment he is fully aware that Wonder Woman is there, that Superman is there, that Bruce Wayne is there, and he's pulling all the strings. So he has all of this knowledge, but he doesn't have the power that a Diana has or a Superman has, and that just infuriates him. Like I said, it's paradoxical. It's a cool little scene too. You know, you just slowly get more of Superman's powers. You know, you see Bruce Wayne talking to Alfred. Clark hears it. So he lost himself in that little moment. Says thank you for coming. Puts the mask back on, right? Goes out to mingle. Does that have the first stare down interaction between Bruce Wayne and Batman, the alter egos. So you get that, and then of course you got Wonder Woman in the background. You would be thinking, why do they keep focusing on this woman? Why do they keep showing this woman? What? We know she's gonna come back in the next episode, but who would have known? But again, if this is episode, it would keep dropping, and people would eventually, that's gonna be Wonder Woman, you know. And here you get amazing montage, again, informing you of the world. And this is almost at the end of the episode. This is so Diana takes off with the encrypted data around minute 52. And around minute 53, the montage starts. I'm going to watch this because this is fucking amazing, and I'm going to just edit it out. You know, I really think that this montage really did not sink into people the way it's supposed to. This is amazing work. Everyone reaching out for him. Every act is a political act. Should there be a film gob? I love that scene where the rocket blows up. Then you see the gust of air. And you just see him fly with the capsule. It's fucking... This movie's so fucking epic. I love this part. The floods. And the woman just reaches out. I really think this didn't hit right. This just didn't land right for people. People didn't understand it. And it's great because then it's cut, you know, it ends and they show you him watching them talking about him and his actions and how he should proceed. And he's just frustrated. Like, fuck, like, you can't win. You know, damned if you do, damned if you don't. And then he calls his mom, which is a great humanizing scene because, you know, he just did this amazing montage about he's the savior and what it means to humans. And that's where this episode ends. And when the phone call ends, that's where this episode ends. Telling you guys, man, just imagine making a 4-hour story and having to cut it down to 2.5 hours, even if it was 3 hours. Telling you guys, the chapters is the right fucking move. We get to hype it up every week. We can... You know what? I'm sorry. I was wrong. The phone call with his mom is not where the episode would end. The episode would end right here. Lois is talking to the lab assistant. After that scene ends, that's where it ends, because that's what she's telling him that you know, her hookups couldn't identify where it came from. Whoever gave it to the rebels, you know, it was like a prototype weapon. Who has a prototype? Who has access to these type of prototypes? To be some type of DARPA R&D, and that's where that ends. But I'm telling you guys, that's the right move. And Epic League, Justice League is gonna be so fucking epic. I've seen this movie so many times. It's 4 years old, and what I just saw blew me away. Even though I've seen it so many times. I'm about to go watch this episode again because this is amazing. Alright, I'll do the episode 3 next week. Till next time, enjoy the nerd shit. We out.